Since then, I have learned so much about this city. Hey guys, it's me, the one, the only. I will never get over that introduction. I love my introduction. I don't know if you love it, but hey, I love it. Welcome to my channel. It's the one and only Heather G, and I'm here today to talk about 3 things I wish someone would have told me before moving to New York MFN City. Let's just get right on into it. But first, if you ain't a subscriber, we need to change that. If you are, yo, what up? I post new content every Sunday and every Thursday, dedicated to my actors, dedicated to my children of God, and dedicated to those who are just in the process of making a change in your life, honey. Can I get an amen? Amen. Okay. Without further ado, let's get right on into it. So I moved to New York City May of 2021, and since then I have learned so much about this city that truly only you can learn by actually being here. But here are still 3 things that I wish someone would have forewarned me about New York City. Some of them are meant for my actors, some of them are meant for just in general. So number 1 is simple. I wish someone would have forewarned me how noisy the city is. Now, I don't have a problem with noise, okay? I don't have a problem with noise at all. I'm a heavy sleeper, so I can sleep through noise all day, every day. That's not the issue. But as an actor, when you in the process of doing a self-tape, when you in a Zoom and you hear homeboy honking bachata outside, or you hear 2 people on the corner arguing, or you hear a car zooming past with its souped up wheels and everything, that can really put a damper on things. This has only happened to me once. I was in the middle of a Xfinity callback via Zoom, and literally out of nowhere, everyone and their mama was blasting bachata outside, was blasting pop music and house music, and I was just like, yo, like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? I know that didn't affect things because obviously the casting team also live in New York, so trust me, they understood, but that didn't take it away. It's happened to me during Zoom workshops. It's happened to me during my classes. So I wish someone would have forewarned me how noisy the city can be, especially when you in the process of doing something mad important. Now, the second thing is kind of, Heather, you should have already known this. You lived in Washington, D.C. So if you lived in D.C., you already know what it's going to be like in New York. I really underestimated the time that it takes to get to a place and how delays can make this happen. And coincidentally, this happens to me anytime I'm heading to see a Broadway show or meeting up with a friend. So I wish someone would have told me, yo, if someone is telling you to meet them at 7, just leave the house at 6, even if it takes you 30 minutes to get there. Walk around a little bit. It ain't like walking around the city is not a thing to do because there's so many things you can do in the midst of that time if you are going to be early. But I really wish someone would have told me, Heather, add 15 to 20 minutes to whatever time is telling you it's going to take to get there, okay? Since doing that, I have really drastically decreased my tardiness when I'm meeting up with friends. And it's also helped me just like relax a little bit more. Like, I don't like being late to things. It's something that I'm really like changing because I find myself almost always late to things. Again, if you're meeting someone at 8, if a Broadway show starts at 8 p.m. and you know it's going to take you about 35 minutes to get to the theater, yo, just leave an hour before, okay? Like I said, again, walk around a little bit, stop and get yourself a little sangria, a little margarita, you know what I mean? Or meet up with your friends sooner. Like, I don't know why I kind of ixnayed this part, knowing that living in Washington, D.C., it's almost the same exact thing because everywhere in D.C., it takes you at least 20 minutes to get to, whether you're driving, taking the bus, taking the train, it does not even matter. So I know that in New York City, it's going to be the exact same, if not worse. But I really wish someone still would have told me that. Now, this last one is going to be something that people are going to roll their eyes on because they're like, really, Heather? Really? Okay, you saying that because you're a little entitled. FYI, nope, I'm not entitled. I just like to find nice, non-expensive gems all around me in the city. Yep, spoiler alert. Tip number 3. I really wish people would stop focusing so much on how expensive this city is. Yes, it is very expensive here. Okay, there have been some of my favorite spots, some of my favorite places have been cheaper than my favorite places in Washington, D.C. My favorite brunch spot is a prime example. My favorite go-to place is a prime example. Seeing Broadway shows a certain night versus like on your Saturday, your Sunday nights, or your Friday nights, prime example. I've seen many Broadway shows for $39, honey, okay? And sometimes I can even get into those same shows in Washington, D.C. for $39. That's one. So I really wish someone would have told me that the city is expensive, but it also has its non-expensive gems. One of my favorite like go-to dinner spots, which isn't too far from my home, is literally like so budget friendly. It's crazy. Like I'm just like,
this is way too good to be true.
y'all sure my whole thing came to $20? What? Really? But I'm telling you, when moving to this city, I had this expectation that I was going to be spending so much money going out. Like, oh my goodness, a good night out is going to cost me about $200. Like, because again, like when you see people talk about how expensive it is, how expensive it is, how expensive it is. And I'm just like, okay, like, I guess I'm going to be going out once a month because like your girl is not set up to be spending that much money every single day. But when I made the effort and I made like the conscious effort at that to look up places, to really look at different deals, you know, I'm an actor, so I love Broadway, and to actually look at, okay, I see that industry night is on this night. It would make more sense to go here on this day than to go on this day. I see that, yes, when I go into more touristy spots like Times Square, those restaurants, not every single one of them is super uber like expensive. And a lot of them, a lot of tourists don't even know about. And I'm not going to name them because you're not going to sit here and all of a sudden overwhelm my favorite spots anyway. But I really wish that someone would have told me that New York City, you know, cannot be, you know, is not that expensive when it comes to certain things. And it really comes in handy when it comes to solo dates, because I love me a good old solo date. So those are the three things that I really wish someone would have told me or would have forewarned me about before moving to New York City, but beautiful things that I have truly learned and am actively embracing. So yes, when homie is outside and he's blasting his music and he's zooming along my street, I just say, you know what? He's enjoying himself. Okay, let him enjoy himself. And I may take a little dance break with him. When I do experience expensive side of New York City, I counteract with non-expensive sides, with this like my favorite brunch spot, my favorite go-to happy hour spot, my favorite free things to do in Central Park. And on top of that, certain nights to see certain Broadway shows. And then lastly, again, like one of my favorite things that I wish someone would have forewarned me was just planning ahead. Like if you know it's going to take you 30 minutes or 20 minutes to get to a place, just add 15, 20 minutes to that. Because there are delays, mad delays all the time. There are people that will, you know, like derail things. You just never know. You just never know in the city. But that's why I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So if you have any other tips or anything that you wish someone would have told you, or if you are looking to move to New York City, comment, like, and share. I want to hear what you got to say. Until next time, peeps.